Why am I making the Tempest box? Why did I buy myself a drum kit? Why am I going to university when obviously there are going to be people in this world who can do a much better job of these things than me? Well, you should always make an effort to further your skills. Obviously it's impossible to be the greatest at everything, but what's to stop you from trying? Even if you're not the best, you'll find people who love what you do. I'm not the best musician or the best programmer or the best designer, but I set high goals for myself not with the intention of reaching them, but with the intention of getting as close to them as possible. Will I ever be a better composer than Mozart? Will I ever be a better piano player than Rachmaninoff? Can the Tempest's box compete with Minecraft Forge? The answer is obviously no to all those, but I'll make dang sure I can get as close to that as I possibly can. So to the people who ask why I've spent over a year doing this, I hope I've answered your question. Guys, exciting news! We have 2 updates to the models of 2 of my creatures. Remember the Lost? How ugly it was? Well, Mr. Potato made a new model for it, which Carrot C textured. Look at this guy. It's repulsive, it's ugly, but it's still not horrible looking. It's exactly what I was going for. And guess what? Since this guy, as you know, drops its ghost, it makes sense in terms of models. They're true to their appearance, which again appeals to my sense of consistency, which is great. And then we have the new Sand Skull. This makes so much more sense, and the dude just looks so much cooler. So thank you again, Dylan, for these wonderful additions to the Tempest's box. And for your contributions, you most definitely deserve a place in the Hall of Fame right here. I've put you here, Mr. Potato. You are listed now as a modeler. By the way, guys, I'm going to put some buttons above everyone so you get a brief description about that person, so you can click here and you'll see my channel. So everyone is listed here in the purple of these guys contributed the most, and these guys contributed a lot as well. And then I have about 30 other people that I need to fit in somehow, who also contributed some builds to the Tempest's box. So, not sure exactly where to fit them, but I'm sure I will find a place to put them somewhere. Also, I've got some models on display, which I think are pretty cool, and you can rotate between them, and a little description will come up about them. Cool stuff. April 29th is 10 days away. Tick tock. Yes, I understand, TTB is changing quite dramatically next update. But I promise you this, it is for the best. So, you're all thinking, Dragon, what have you done this time? Well, as you might have guessed by this not triggering, but despite this being powered, and the presence of this button, yeah, I've made most of my machines activated using redstone. You can use any kind of input, because I've actually hidden a command block in here. So the only function that's changed is well, you can trigger it with redstone. It used to be a barrier, but there you go. But some of the machines are still autonomous, such as the quarry. Like, imagine powering that all the way down to bedrock. That's way too difficult. So that's wireless. Same with the volcanium lasers thus far, the spirit infuser, and blocks like the micro tree farm. Everything else, however, is going to be triggered with redstone, which I think is going to be really, really cool. That's my phone. And before anyone gets confused, if you're in survival mode, no, I cannot access the command block inside, and yes, I can still break the machine if I wanted to. In fact, you could actually see the cracks now. Couldn't do that before, that's weird. Oh, only from this angle. What a weird game. Okay, so yeah, you can still activate it using redstone, and isn't that just grandiose? So this only actually loses power when you press the button. See, we're on 978, it's not going down at all. Press the button, and it goes down to 974 because these both activated for some reason. I wonder why that is. That is a bug, actually, because they're not connected. 6 days remaining until my due date. Let's talk about time. Between now and the next 6 days, I will have 144 hours before I have to release TTB. Well, that's my self-imposed deadline anyway. I have 40 hours to manage my home life and work and do all those great things. We've got 38 hours of university, 48 hours of good sleep if I need at least a third of sleep every day, and I need at least 12 hours to complete the projects that I promised other people I would work on. That leaves a total of 3 hours to work on the Tempest box between now and the release date. It will take me 3 hours to release it and do the wikis, it will take me 12 hours to test everything, it will take me 4 hours to complete the box, and who knows how long it will take to possibly update the things with the command changes in 1.12. That leaves a total of 19 hours that I have to perform in 3 hours. Does this mean I'm going to give up? No. Does it mean I'm likely not going to reach the goal? Yes. No matter what I do this week, I am likely going to disappoint people, and that is just a part of life, a part of being a committed person to lots of things. So this has been a learning experience for me, not necessarily a bad experience, but just something I need to draw from and think, hey, I can't let my calendar do this ever again. Now I know I'm very young and probably not the best position to give out life advice, but the chances are one day, or maybe you've already have been in my situation before, and the best advice I can give is focus on what's important, stay motivated, stay positive, just try and reach your goals, no matter how impossible they seem. You might surprise yourself. That's what I'm doing, and I feel great about it. There are a few other things that I've added to TTB since my last update, mainly to do with the language files. Now I'll show you some cool things that you can do with language files. So this doesn't say how much tempi it is anymore, it's just a little picture of an amethyst, which just represents that. I've also been a bit inspired by Quark, and yes, I got permission from the mod guy, Vasky, to implement this. So now there's icons instead of actually telling you what the effect actually is, so you can see the speed effect and the attack damage effect there. Health getting lost, attack damage increasing here, and this one you can see that it's got 1 speed and 7 attack damage. And I've also done a slight cheat. I've also done some slight tweaks to the textures. As you can see, the crafting bench is now back to normal. And I have changed the enchantment table. Yeah, it's a bit yucky. Now the chests are a little bit green. I think I might just stick with this light purple for everything though. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how will people know that you made this then, Dragon? Well, I put it in the pause menu. So this is back to TTB here, and this is save and quit, and that's in a nice green TTB colors. And then up here it says, thank you for playing TTB with a little love heart. It says, subscribe to Dragon for updates. So there you go. Okay, now let's pretend I have my resource pack installed and I'm just installing TTB. So we give ourselves a structure block. I place that down and oh, watch Dragon's installation video before installing TTB. Now, in my Discord, I hear a lot of bug reports saying like, oh, I can't get it working. And it turns out most people actually don't watch the video. More people download it than they watch the video, and that's a huge problem. So now, no more excuses. Watch my installation video before installing TTB. And if that wasn't enough, when you actually go in, it says, please set this to TTB mode. Right, and it says how you watch Dragon's installation video before installing TTB as well. So let's click that. No, not quite. There we go, this turns green, so this is the correct mode. Alright, set this to 0.1 and 0. Yep. Set this to 0, 0, 0. Okay. Turn this on, sure. And set this to TTB. So you'd put in TTB and then they'd click load and it will be installed. Hopefully they'll be able to follow those instructions if they don't watch my video. We'll see. I don't take orders from a clock. I will release TTB when it's done. Needless to say, I didn't reach my goal of April 29th. Today is May 29th, so I'm a month over what I was expecting, but that's due to the addition of functions. So I converted TTB to advancements when they came out, and then functions released, so I had to convert them back from advancements back into functions. But this has got a lot of benefits. Look how many commands you see. Nothing. The Tempest's box is entirely commandless now. Not a single command block is used, except for the occasional impulse command blocks that we need, which are located inside the machines here. So now this isn't powered, so it actually gives me a notification. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off my resource pack so you can see exactly where I am using the commands. So you can see that there's actually a command block here which you need to power in order to make things work. Now inside is a function command which is now running. So that's super powerful, and it's awesome for many reasons. Now this box that I spent quite some time building last episode won't be in version 0.7 of the Tempest's box. Instead, it will probably be in version 0.8. For now, I have this temporary solution which is much more manageable. So we go in here and we have all the credits inside, so you can press the button to learn about each person who contributed to the pack. As you can see, we've got my major contributors here, my donors up there, my patrons here, and then everyone else who contributed here on a wall over here. I've also got this saying if you see a mage here, then you have installed the resource pack correctly, which is great. And you might notice these custom textures. Now Data Crusader sent me a message saying, hey, you should use 3 twos packs. So what this basically is it's actually cobblestone slabs. So if you place them normally, then that's fine. Now under normal circumstances, when you place 2 cobblestone together, they just look like normal cobblestone. However, this gives us the opportunity to sort of add, in quotations, blocks to the Tempest's box, which is great. So 3.2 is credited here if you want to download the resource pack on its own right there. So that's great, and of course we can learn about our fellow contributors here. Whenever you're done and whenever you're ready, I mean there's not much to look at in here, but whenever you're ready you can just stand here and you'll be sent into the world. This will be encased in barriers, and as soon as you enter the world, this spawns at the bottom of the world, and if anyone else joins the game, then they'll just be teleported in here as well, and then they can exit as normal. Now the other cool thing about it is if you're an admin, you can actually change this. So if I were to set this to something like 100, then that can spread players out 100 blocks, which I think is pretty cool. But that's up to them anyway. So you may be wondering, okay, so who is this Patrick guy? And why is he here? Why is he so important? Well, because he accelerated the process by about 9,000. So, welcome to the command iterator that he programmed for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say effect type equals zombie, skeleton, and stray, and spider, and creeper. Okay, now that might seem insignificant, right? But watch this. Let's affect them with speed, strength, and resistance. Level 110, and we'll just say we'll hide the particles now. Let's split it. There we go. These are a bunch of commands that I didn't have to write by hand. And the other thing that I can do is I can say, okay, well, what if I just define hostile? And what I can do here is I can just say type equals hostile. And what if I want another thing? So we'll say execute e type equals hostile. And we'll just do an angry villager particle, like so. Okay, so that didn't work. Anyway, you get the idea, but he also inspired me to write some of my own generators. See, there was this instance where I needed to write something like, I think it was 600 commands. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get a program just to do it for me. So yeah, I did it. And if you want to see the source code, well, it looks something like this. I just wrote 36 lines of code to generate about 600 combinations of commands, which is absolutely fantastic. Saves me so much time, and I've got TheDustyBunny teaching me how to do C++ as well as university as well, so that's cool. Why did I need to write 600 commands or whatnot? Well, XXMA created a method for me which makes a bunch of items stackable. So this is customized, even though it's an amethyst, and it doesn't actually exist in the game. Normally it would be a hoe or something, same with the mysterious dust. So what are they? These are actually command blocks. Except if I go into survival mode, I can't place them down. So they just behave like normal gems. And this is fantastic. And of course I used the lang files to just change the name of each one, and boom, there you have it. But now the tempite container has a problem. See, initially I only had to detect for one thing in each slot for it to work. Now, what if I have 3 here, 2 here, 1 here, maybe a stack in here? How does it know what amount to give? Well, I have to iterate through every single combination. And so that's why I needed a generator to build that for me. And there you go, this works great. I also made it so if you overload it too much, then it becomes slightly less efficient by about 100 tempite, but there you go. It's time. This version of TTB may be done. The final episode is out, and the semester is almost over. While some people may be happy with that and continue life as normal, I'm getting ready for the next biggest thing. I do think that I've made something that people will and have enjoyed, but there's always room for improvement, so I'm ready to move to the next step. I'll see you next season.
Hello everyone, welcome to the first week of Tempest's Tuesday. Surprise, surprise, it's not Tuesday, I'm a little bit late with this one, but that's okay, because I have 4 kind of unfinished modules that you can have in a world. It breaks blocks, just as it did before, which is pretty awesome. The only thing I changed about it is that it actually has a texture. Next to all of this, you will see that the stone does not get collected. However, if we do have different blocks next to it, you will notice that it does get collected. Because if you get too close, then you'll take some serious fall damage. Attack damage, knockback resistance, and it can also break blocks over time as well. Yep, fight against. There we go. So, let's actually try and kill this guy now. My offhand. Then as you can see, it mines out a larger area. It's slow. You can escape it pretty easily, but as you can see, it's doing this pretty scary effect. Areas, and as you can see, no parts of the dungeon is secluded, so it's always to go to its Zender's channel and go and subscribe. He is a command and modeling genius, and he has helped me out with the creatures of the Tempest's box, my favorite being the Yeti. And now some people loved the idea, some people didn't like the idea at all because it didn't feel vanilla. Well, the only thing I really have to say to that is I don't want any of this to feel vanilla. Some random hallways, we've got some plants up here. These are of course using the structure blocks, and this time and as you can see, it's consuming the diamond ore exactly like you'd expect, and this will just keep running for a while. If you're wondering why it launches the mob in the air, there's 2 reasons for that. Actually, there's a few reasons. One, it's so the TNT doesn't damage the terrain. Is around it a speed boost as well. So sometimes it will actually... Skeleton here, looking good. Creeper, I'll block that as soon as I can. Be shocked when I show you what I'm about to show you. I've prematurely spoiled it now. Okay, here we go. These are the new machines. I think it's time we get a new cast of creatures that we can deal with. I think it's time for... You can throw it in, and the gem will align itself, and it's going to be remodeled and everything, so it might shock you. Yeah, we subtract the center coordinate of the Y. In this case, it's going to be 0, because as you walk around, it creates a little pathway as you go, and obviously the light wall doesn't work at all, so we can get rid of that.